Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Man, am I glad Tom automated so much of this stuff because he just set me up with our Stream Deck and he has all the buttons pre-programmed. So hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear and you can see me and hear me. Well, it is great to see all of you here tonight. So Tom is not here in the studio with me because he is actually on his way to Chicago to pick up Rena and Brian. They just spent a whole 2.5 weeks in the Philippines. And they were coming back tonight, and this is the flight that they got. So Tom went down to pick them up at the airport. He's going to grab them, drop them off, and come right back here to the studio. But I don't think he's going to make it in time for our live tonight. He'll just get here in time to take me home, which is great. But I am so glad to see all of you here tonight. A big shout out to Brianne Loveland. I saw her here in the chat already. Brianne is just a rock star. She shares links to things that I use throughout the live, and that's really helpful for people when they're looking for something that they see and that they like. So normally right now I say, let's say hello to Tom, but he's not here, so let's get right into it. Oh, and I did want to say that I have a word of the day. I told Tom I'm going to come up with a word of the day, and I'm kind of glad he's not here for this word of the day because it's kind of a naughty word of the day, but I think it'll be fun and funny. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But let me show you what I'm going to be using tonight because I'm going to be making one of those fun spring forest cards. And that die set is from our brand new Friendly Wishes kit. So lots of you have the kit, lots of you have the kit on the way, and some of you are on the notify me list to get this die set once it's released in February as a standalone die set. So it's always good to see these kinds of cards. And so I am going to, let's see, I'm going to try to pick the right button here. I'm going to go to the overhead and show you what I'm using. All right, so here's the die set that I'm going to be using tonight. This is the Spring Forest die set. And normally our die sets usually just have turquoise images of the outlines and kind of little, I have one here to show you. Kind of like this, where you see the stamps kind of in a transparent whitish color, and then you see the die lines in the turquoise on the outside. But for this one, when Brian made this insert, he laid it all out so that you can see exactly how everything goes together. And also, one thing that I didn't know that Warehouse Steve showed me, I went in the other day and he had a great card that he made with the Spring Forest die set. And I said, Steve, did you make that? And he said, well, actually, he said, these are actually the regular size. So I was able to cut out this fox with the die right from the insert. So he didn't have to put all the pieces together. I thought that was really funny because he prints all of our inserts back there. So, but these are actual size on the insert so that you know exactly how big they are. You know exactly which pieces go with what animal, and it does make it very easy. Now, I've pre-cut a bunch of these, and I've actually assembled a few of them, but I thought we could go through the assembly of at least one of them just to show you how it works, all right? So for my die set, I have mine in one of our stamp pockets here. And I have the insert, but then it also comes with a magnetic board. And this magnetic board you'll find inside the die set, and then all these dies will be in a little plastic bag. So this way you don't lose anything. And when you get it, take the magnet out, and then you can just put all the dies on here. Now, one of the things that I did with this die set, and I've said this in videos that I've done on this already, but in case this is your first video or you're new to Gina K Designs, for these really itty bitty pieces, I put them on plates. So for example, you can cut everything on this plate using green. You can cut everything on this plate using black. So it kind of saves you a little bit of time. Plus, can you imagine having a die small enough to be the eyeball of this little fox or this little chick or the rabbit? I'm sure you'd lose those dies. I know I would. I have trouble with big dies, losing them. So, by putting them all on a plate, they're much less apt to be lost, and all of your little pieces you can cut out in one pass. Yes, thank you, Brian, right? So I'll get this little mini die cutting machine here to cut out a couple of these. This is our mini Intra-Cut. I just love this little machine. It's got a cute little handle, so I kind of like to carry it as a purse when I'm not using it for die cutting. And then my recommendation is if you have a grip mat, that's one of those photopolymer mats. It doesn't matter whether you have ours or you have one from another company. For these small die cutting machines, I recommend putting your grip mat down and then opening your die cutting machine on the grip mat. That really keeps it in place. It prevents it from scooting all around when you're die cutting. Because when you're die cutting, you know, sometimes you'll find yourself doing this because it is a smaller machine. It's not heavy like our big Intra-Cut. So if you put it on the grip mat, the little feet will grip to the grip mat, and it really just keeps everything in place. Now, I may have some trouble answering questions tonight because a lot of times Tom will ask the questions and I don't look up very much to look at the comments. But I did see one comment asking when something is going to be back in stock, and I just don't have any of that information here during the live. You can reach out to customer service. They don't know a lot of that either because there's always supply chain issues, and, you know, we put the order in as soon as something sells out, but sometimes things just take a little bit longer to come in depending on what's going on at the manufacturing level. So if you're on the notify me list for something, that is a great thing to do. Get yourself on the notify me list, and as soon as it comes in, you'll get an email that says, hey, this product is back in stock. The email is great. It has a picture of the product on it. You can click right from that email to the product and you can add it to your cart. So you'll get that notification right away. All right. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to cut out this little fox. So here's the little fox. And the way this works is for these animals, rather than just doing the parts of the fox that are in this kind of terracotta color, I used tomato soup. What I did was I designed these dies to have the full animal, the full body of the animal. And then you would use that as the base, and then you paper piece the other little pieces right on top. The only one that's a little different is this bunny, because the bunny, his belly comes out. But the reason the belly comes out is because, number one, I wanted you to be able to do the belly in a different color, but I wanted the arms to be able to flip up. So I do have a bunny cut out here, and I'll show you. Let me put my glasses on so I can see, and let me get my pick and stick tool. So you can see here with the bunny, see how his little arms are free? So they lift up. Can you see that? Let's see if I can. No, I don't have my camera, so it's auto-focusing, so it doesn't breathe. So I'll just hold it down here. But you can see that, right? The arms kind of come up. Well, all I do is put a little piece of tape on the back, and that just holds the belly into the bunny. So that's pretty easy to do. But then the arms are free. And because the arms are free, then you can put different little things inside the bunny arms. For example, let me find one here. You can put, trying to pick them up, here's a little carrot that I built. Little carrot. So you can take those bunny arms and you can slip the carrot under the bunny arm like that. So it looks like the bunny is holding the carrot. You can also do that with the flower. You can do it with the apple. You can do it with other little die sets that you have in other little dies that you have in your collection. So that's why this one doesn't have the full body. It has all this gray part, but this little part pops out. Okay, so we're going to cut a little fox. So I'm going to use some tomato soup here. You can also use sun-kissed coral or faded brick, depending on how light or dark you want this little guy, but this is a great color for him. Yeah, Warehouse Steve. He makes cards. He comes in the morning a little bit early and he makes cards, and his cards are so cute. One day I'm gonna go back and grab all his cards and do a show and tell. He doesn't know that, but if he's watching or listening, Steve, I'm gonna have to show off some of your cards. Okay, so now we've got the little fox here, and he's gonna be ready for cutting some of the little paper piecing parts. Okay, so I'm going to need some white cardstock, so I'm just cutting down some here because I'm lazy and I don't feel like digging through that scrap box, but I need to do that. So I'm going to cut the parts of the fox. Now you could either do them in white or here. This color is, trying to think what color I used to do that. I think I used, was it this one? Barely There. It might have been Barely There that I used just because I wanted it to be a little softer when I initially made all of these, and Brian matched them up. So, but I'm going to use white so it's a little bit more vibrant. So I need a tail and I need cheeks, the little face part. So let's find those pieces. They are right here. We have that, and we have his little tail. Now you could add a little bit of gray to the tail if you want, but I'm going to just do it straight ahead just like it was designed. So this way there's not, too much struggle tonight. So the kit is out of stock. Yep, it did sell out completely. And our kits are only available while supplies last. But then what happens is all of the parts become available a la carte. And that will happen during our next release. So when our next release comes about, you'll be able to pick up this die set. You'll be able to pick up the other stamp and die collection. You'll be able to pick up the stencils, and you can pick and choose. So now I'm going to need the little black parts for this fox. So this is the plate that has all of those parts in it. It's got the little legs, it's got the ears, it's got the legs for the bird, it's got eyes, and it's got that cute little nose that works for the rabbit or for the fox. So I'm going to cut these out all at once here. Now you can also cut all of these out in white and just use a little marker if you'd prefer to do that. But yeah, I am very, very happy with these being all kind of on one little plate. So let me poke these out down here. This is a leg. This is the nose. I don't need this leg, but I'll poke it out anyway because at some point I'm going to do a bird, right? And then I'll poke out the other leg, the ears, anything else that's here. And I got to poke out the two eyes. Now, one thing I was playing with earlier were our new, we have the new pearls. These are the mini pearls here. And I was playing with these. And let me show you what these look like and tell me what you think. So I have one fox all assembled here. Let me grab that just so that we can use it as an example. So I wanted to show you what these look like, just in case you weren't really interested in cutting out those little eyeballs. Now, the eyeballs are smaller here, but these actually are very cute and very cartoony. So if you like that look, you could use our mini pearls, and then you wouldn't have to cut out the eyeballs if you don't want to go quite this small, because they are very tiny. But, I mean, this is fun. This is die cutting. You take your time, you cut them out, and they look great. So, it's totally up to you whether or not it's something you wanted to do. You can also just take a pen and draw the two eyes, just two dots. So that is something easy that you can do as well. I wonder if my comments are stuck, because I can't really see the comments. Oh, yeah, I can. They're coming through. It's just taking a little bit longer on that end than on my phone here, because I'm watching on YouTube as well, to make sure you guys are, to make sure I actually went live the right way. Okay, I'm going to just put this die cutting machine aside, and I want to show you how easy it is to assemble this little guy. So let's see if I can zoom in a bit here. All right, I have to turn my zoom thing on and off to make it work. Our old one just worked, but this one's a little different. The new one, sometimes the new things aren't always the best things, right? That's what I tell Tom. So I can remember that. I'm just going to start my glue here. All right. So what did I just drop? Oh, that was my cord that fell out of my pants. I had the cord to my headphones kind of tucked into my pants so I wouldn't trip over them. So now I'll just trip. So let me just show you how easy this is to assemble. So this lines up real easily right there on the bottom. And I'm just going to use a little bit of glue here. I just refilled all of my glue bottles so they're nice and easy to use. And I was wondering, would you guys like to see a little short video on how I do my glue bottles? Because I know some people struggle a little bit with how to fill the glue and how to keep them clean and all of that stuff. I could do a little video on that if you think it's something you'd be interested in. I mean, it'd be a really short video, but it could be very helpful. Okay, so now I've got his little cheeks on there, and now I'm going to do his tail. It is so cold. My daughter Alicia is back in school. She's going to school, and it was her first day of the new semester, and they canceled class today. Can you believe it? They never cancel college here in Wisconsin. They never cancel anything in Wisconsin, but it was so cold today. It was -10 was the actual temperature when I got up this morning. So I understand why they did it, especially because a lot of people walk around the campus to class. So all of our schools were closed today. All right, so now we've got his little cheeks and his tail put together. So now I'm going to do his legs. So let's just get a leg here. And that's what's nice about this, having this close by. You can look at it and say, all right, where does this leg go versus this leg? Because they're two different style legs. And I actually wasn't thinking about it, and I was thinking of putting this one on here, but this one is going to go here. So we'll do just a tiny little bit of glue. I'll go back and rewatch this video and look at your comments too, because I don't have Tom chiming in. I miss Tom when he's not here. So Tom, if you're listening, he might be listening in the car. We miss you. We all miss you very much. Okay, so now I've got that on there. I'm just going to clean off the glue with the tip of this, our little pick and stick tool. It's kind of nice because the tip of this isn't too sharp, which is really nice. It's sharp enough to poke all the dies out and things like that, and it will pierce the paper, but it's not super, super sharp. And so I like to use it to kind of clean up glue around the perimeters of stuff. All right, let's do this now. I'm going to just do a tiny little bit of glue right here, like that. And then I'm going to pick up this leg with the wax tip, kind of like it's an embellishment, and then place it down. And then once I have it in place, then I can use this side of it to kind of push it around to where I want it to go. So there we go. We have that second leg on there. And then we need this leg that's going to slip forward. That's this one right here. It's so cute. After watching Rena's little puppy for the last 2.5 weeks, he looks just like this. He really does. This could be a Mishi. I don't know if you guys have ever seen little pictures of Mishi, but I share them every once in a while. And he's such a little foxy looking thing. He's so cute. And every time I see this little leg, I think of Mishi and the funny way he sits. So that's just going to go right on there. And then I can just push it down to the edge. Okay, so now we've got the little legs on there. Now I'm going to put the nose on. So I'm going to put that right down here. All right, and I think this is the nose. It looks like the nose. Yep, that's the nose. And we'll pop that on there. And then we'll straighten it out. There we go. Okay. So you can see it's not terribly difficult to put this together. It's just, you know, you have to think about where you're going to put everything. And that's what's great about having this index here. So here are his eyeballs. And we got to get his little ears on there too. So let's do his ears first. I do need to turn these ears over. And like if you're not 100% sure which ear goes on which side, there is a little bit of an orientation to these. And not much though. It really wouldn't matter. Like if you put it the wrong way, it still would be okay. But if you want it to be exactly like what's on the picture, you can kind of pull the picture over and take a look at it, and you can kind of tell. So it looks like the curve should be on the side like that. There's a little curve on this side and a little curve on this side. And so we will add just a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here. It doesn't take much glue to make these stick. All right, and then we'll pop that in there. And we'll pop this one. Sometimes the little, if there's a little shred, you know, you might want to take that off. It just happens sometimes with dies. Okay, so there's his little ears. And now let's add his eyes. I know the color index sheet is, I don't know what I'd do without it. All right, and we'll put one little eyeball here. It's kind of hard to see the glue on the white, but we'll put one over here. All right, wish me luck now with these, because these are tiny. One there and one there. And sometimes you have to move it so he doesn't look like his eyes are not spaced out evenly. But there we go. Isn't he cute? I mean, this one might be able to move a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So there he is. And then these two little legs, I told you, I've seen people like share a bunch of, somebody went to the Dollar Tree and got a really cute little organizer for all their bits and pieces. But I just have this little box, and this box is by Iris. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's from Michael's. So, but, you know, I would definitely check out. Get the cheapest storage you can so you can have more fun with stamps and dies, right? All right, so you can see how easy these are to assemble. I wanted to assemble something for you tonight. And then I have a chick already assembled, so I think I'll use that. And then I'm going to do a tree. So I cut out one of the trees, and I cut out the trunk of the tree. I'm also going to need a cloud, and I'm going to need the sun. So there we go. Those are the pieces that I'm going to need for my card tonight. So now what I'm going to do is I just want to tap this down and get the glue out of the out of this part right here. And sometimes I just like squeeze it and burp it down a little bit just to make sure that it's completely down. And then if you can remember always to cap your glue, it won't get clogged. But if it does get clogged, you can always use a stainless steel pin. I know that's a little blurry. Let me zoom out. You can always use a stainless steel pin, or you can always take the cap off and soak it in hot water, and that will loosen the glue because it is a water-based glue, and then just use a pin to clean it out, and it will be good as new. All right, so I'm gonna put this tree together. I know, isn't this guy, this little one with the little bow. And that bow could also be cut in black and put on the fox's neck, like a little bow tie too. So a couple different ways that you can use this. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. And we'll glue this tree trunk onto the tree. So for colors, I used grass green for this tree. And I used wild dandelion for the chick. I'll get a little more glue down in here. There we go. That might squish out a little, but that's all right. I used warm cocoa for the tree trunk. I believe that's warm cocoa. Let me look at warm cocoa. Warm cocoa? Yep, warm cocoa. And I used wild dandelion for the sun and for the chick. I used dusty rose for the bow. And sweet mango for his little beak and his little feet. And then just our white for the cloud. All right, and if I was cutting all of that, I would have cut the cloud at the same time as I cut these other two pieces. Okay, so now I am going to cut a background. And I think for my background, I want to use our new blue sky. Now, normally I've been doing ink blended backgrounds with like the sea, sun, and sky stencil. I don't know if you guys remember that card, but here it is. I made it I don't know, a week, 10 days ago, and I did the background with the clouds. Well, this time I'm not going to do the background with any ink. I'm just going to do it straight ahead with cardstock. So let me grab my big die cutting machine because we're going to cut a couple of big things here, and that is really close. So let me zoom out. Why am I so zoomed in? There we go. Oops, that's a little too much. When you can see all the dirt on the floor, that's too zoomed out. So let's get this. So I'm going to cut this out using Master Layouts 2. And I'm going to show you a fun little tip that I have showed before, but if you're new here, it might be a new to you tip. And if you're a repeat offender and you've been here before, it might refresh your memory, something to do that maybe you kind of forgot. You know, I watch my old videos sometimes because I forget things that I've already done. It's good refresher. Okay, so that's got that nice little stitched edge. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to cut some grass. So hopefully I have the right die set here. Let's all hope together that it's here. Give me a second. Maybe it's not here. Is it home? Well, I don't have time to run all the way back, but let me just check one more time, and if it's not here, then we'll do a plan B. We can do a plan B, and I'll show you plan A. All right. I think we're going with plan B, which is fine. It's totally fine. So I was going to make grass with Master Layout 6, but Master Layout 6 is home on my craft table at home. And you would think I would have one of each, like one here and one at home, but I don't. I'm dumb and I bring it all back and forth with me. But this is a great opportunity to show you something fun. So let me get my ovals. So in my original card, I actually made grass. But what I'm going to do with this card is I'm going to make some hills instead. And what's fun is to be able to have some accent stitching that matches the stitching on this this panel. So I'm going to use our single stitched ovals. Now, if you want even more stitching, you can use the double stitched ovals. But I'm going to cut a big oval here using the single stitched ovals. It's the largest one. Okay. No worries. No worries at all. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in like 2 parts. I might have to cut another one, so let's see first how this all plays out. Okay, and then I'm going to get a small piece of our layering weight white cardstock, just a quarter sheet, because our layering weight white cardstock is a thinner cardstock, and I think that that's going to work nicely. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by cutting this oval in half. Let's move this out of the way so we can see this whole thing. I'll have to get it back here again in a minute, but I'm going to put it over here on my step stool. I love these kinds of cards too. They are super fun, aren't they? Okay, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this like a little bit on an angle like that. No, I think I'll cut it like this right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a little hill. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to make another hill. And this hill is going to be bigger. And then this one is going to come over like that. So you see how it's going to be like a big hill up here and then a smaller hill down here. All right, but I don't want this one to be quite so high, so I'm going to trim this one down a little bit too. And you don't have to worry if it's perfectly straight. It's totally fine. However it plays out is going to be fine. So I think this one I'm going to bring in from over here, and then this one will kind of come in on the front like that. Okay, now before we attach these to the card, I don't want to lose this cute stitching around the outside. So I'm going to cut these with that same Master Layouts die to keep the stitching going. All right. So let's find that die again. I think I put it away. Master Layouts 2, where are you? Here it is. Okay. So I need to find the spot that I want to have my hill go to. So maybe I want this hill to be a little bit more this way. And this is actually great because this is exactly the size of this, because this is what we cut it out with. So you can kind of see like where the hill will go. Maybe you want it to look a little bit more like that. That's totally fine too. And then this one will come in over here. But I feel like having this one a little bit higher will be good, and then this one lower. So let's cut this first. See what I'm doing? I just have it right on that corner, and now I'm going to cut that out. For anybody that's asking about when things are back in stock, I just don't have that information here, and our customer service unfortunately doesn't have it either. But if you're looking for something, make sure you get on the Notify Me list, and once it comes back in stock, you'll get an email. All right, so now you can see I've got that cute little stitching there, and when I lay that right onto that corner, that stitching is continuous. It goes all the way up, it'll go all the way across the bottom. Isn't that fun? Okay, now for this one, we want to catch this one right about here, like that. And I can kind of look at that to see how that's going to look. I'm going to make that even a little bit smaller, like that. So this will be here, and then this one will actually be on the front, but it's going, because you'll see that slope down, but I want it to be shorter than this one. So I'm just measuring it out real quick. All right, and now we're going to cut that right there. So this is something fun to try to get this nice little bit of detail on your hill. So let's take a look now at how this is going to lay out. Let me move this. Yes, our magnetic plates and magnetic platform, everything is back in stock. So if you've been waiting for that, that finally came in. Good news. Okay, so now we're going to put these two together. So This is going to go here, and my stitching's going to match up really nicely, and then this is going to go over here, and that should make all the stitching match up really nicely, and you can see down here that it does. And I'll take some close-up pictures of this so that you can see it, but this kind of gives us a little bit of, you know, the hills are alive with the sound of music. Okay, so we can put this together with glue or we can put it together with tape. And I'll use some tape just because it's easy to do. You just want to make sure that that tape goes all the way to the edge. And then I'm going to line that up along the bottom and along the side. Let me do it this way because it's easier for me to see down in this corner that I have it straight. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to do this one as well onto the other side. If any of you ever had your kids fly like halfway around the world, I'm telling you, I actually watched the plane all day today. I got that Flight Aware app, and I was just watching them and seeing where they were. I watched them go just like, I don't know, flying is amazing, but it's also a little scary when your kids are up in the air, right? So for those of you who are just joining us, the reason Tom's not here tonight is he just ran down to Chicago to pick Rena and Brian up. They were in the Philippines for 2.5 weeks. We had their little puppy, and they just got home. So, okay, so I'm going to cut this down. You could cut it with master layouts too, but instead of bringing the die cutting machine back out again, I'm going to just cut it to the same size as this die, which is 3 5/8. Watch me mess it up, and then I'll have to do it with the die. By 4 7/8. That's what size that die is. And then that will just give me that cute little shadow layer that I need. Okay, it's not as perfect as the die, but it gives me the nice shadow layer. Okay. So I'm gonna do something. Just give me a second. I want to go across the room here, and I want to just check one thing. So stay with me. What is going on with the comments? There we go. Okay. There we go. I couldn't see your comments, so I had to go and move them and scroll them down. Okay. Now, let's zoom in a little bit and let's assemble this card, shall we? I have to turn the zoom thing on and off again. There we go. Is that too close? It's a little close. Okay. So first we'll adhere these two together. Just like this. And then we're just going to cut a greeting out. And I have the perfect little greeting that I want to cut. Okay, so get rid of that. Sometimes you get the little shreds from the die and you just have to run your fingernail across. Just don't give yourself a paper cut, because I've done that too, and that isn't fun. But it cleans it up nicely. Some people use like a little nail file or one of those little white sanding blocks. I have one here. Like this, you can get them at like Walgreens, and they just use that to get rid of the little shreds around the outside, and that works pretty well. This one is by Olive and June. As you can see, I'm not using my nail tools to do my nails today. All right, I'm gonna quick cut a card base, a white card base. I used my card base for something else that I ended up not even needing. So I'm just going to cut this out real quick, just at the 5.5 inch mark. Just a half sheet of cardstock. There we go. And this is going to be my card base. So let me get my score board. And welcome everybody. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. It is great to have you here tonight. I do have a word of the day for you. I'm going to be doing that in just a minute. Now listen, we're not going to talk to Tom about the word of the day, okay? This is just going to be between us. And this word might be a little bit more for my girlies, but my dudes who craft too who are watching, I love you guys. But this one might be a little bit more for my girlies. So you're just going to have to bear with us. And I know that y'all are so awesome and have such a great sense of humor. So, and you know, this is just, Tom is going to, if he hears this, he's never going to leave again. Should I do the word of the day now? All right. I'll do the word of the day. Okay. All right. So my word of the day, do I have it here? Okay. My word of the day. So have you guys ever heard the term mansplaining? And if it's like when men explain things to you, like you say something and then they correct you and they're like, no, that's not the way it is. And then they start explaining, and that's called mansplaining, right? So another word for mansplaining is correctile dysfunction. Wait a minute. I know I have the right sound effect for this. Let's see. Correctile dysfunction. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's get rid of that real quick, just in case Tom is pulled over somewhere. That's the word of the day, and that's just between us. Okay. So back to the card, and please don't unsubscribe. Tom will be back, I promise. Okay, so now I'm going to put this together. If my video gets like a strike on it, I'm going to scream. I'm looking at your comments. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so glad you're all with me on that. Hey, we woman-splain too. I mean, it's not really, you know, woman-splaining is when I'm trying to tell Tom something like the party got moved to next Saturday night. That is not the way I'm going to tell that story. I'm going to tell the story, and it's going to start where I saw Dorothy at the coffee shop, and then I got to tell him what she was wearing down to what her shoes were. And, you know, that's woman-splaining. We got to tell you every little bitty detail, and it's not the same story unless we tell you all the details. So we have woman-splaining too. All right, now I'm going to set this up where everything is popped up a little bit. So I'm going to put the tree here on this lower hill. And then when I'm all done, I'm going to show you the one that I did with the grass from Master Layout 6 so you can see what that looks like as well. And I'm going to need some foam squares. Oh my gosh, is it still coming through? Some of you haven't even heard it yet. I know there's a... I know, women do have to explain. Like when Rena or Alicia, when they were young and they would come home from a party or something, or they'd come home from whatever... I used to love to just sit and talk to them because I would get all the details, not just the stuff that happened, but I would get, you know, what everybody, you know, and whose hairstyle was new and who colored their hair and, you know, all the fun details that we just need as girls. I have guy friends, though, that they like the details, too. So it's not necessarily just a girl thing, but Tom might think it is. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. I need to leave a little bit of room on the top because I'm going to put my greeting. You know what? I'm not even showing you the overhead. All right, let's do this. Here we go. So I'm going to put this over here, and then I'm going to leave a little bit of room up at the top for the greeting. See, it was like I thought Tom was over there working the controls. So now you've got the camera. Okay. All right, so there's my little tree. And now I'm going to put my two little critters right here next to each other. They can be down here. We'll put one there, and we'll put one over here. So they're nice and close together. And I'm going to pop them up. And then I'm going to do the sun. up here. And then I'm going to do the cloud just kind of covering part of the sun like that. Okay, that's going to be my little scene. He is here in spirit, that's right. And then I need to make sure that I leave enough room for the greeting. So before I put the sun and the cloud on, I'm going to stamp and cut the greeting. But first I'm going to pop these little guys up too. I'm glad you all have a good sense of humor, because it would be, we've had some things come through customer service lately, and not everybody has a good sense of humor, but I can tell from all the comments and everything that you all have a good sense of humor. We've had some very interesting comments come through customer service. I got a comment that, and I hadn't even really thought about it, but somebody reached out to customer service and said that they were so angry because I called Alicia or Rena my daughter. And I thought, well, but she is my daughter. And the person said, it is your daughter and Tom's daughter, so you must say our daughter. And then I had a friend who said something so funny about, you know, pushing my daughter out of my loins, and that gives me the right to my daughter. But yeah, she's our daughter. I don't mean that it's not our daughter. It's just, I think it's something that you just say when you're talking to people. I even do that with my sister. You know, I remember like sitting and talking to my sister sometimes and just, you know, saying something like, my mother, she knew what I meant. So hopefully you guys do the same thing. And you know that I know Tom is the father, right? He's definitely the father. There's no doubt. First of all, if you look at Rena, she looks exactly like him, so he can't deny her. And Rena looks like Tom, and Alicia acts like Tom. So between the two of them, he can't deny either one of them, and he wouldn't. All right, so I'm going to take a piece of white cardstock. I have a hair on here. I'm going to put a piece of white cardstock on here, and I'm going to use this stamp set. This is the Friendly Wishes stamp set. This also was part of the kit, and it will be going up for sale as a stamp and die bundle or just a stamp set for those of you that don't like to cut out. Tom is watching. Oh boy. Hi, honey. I love you. And I'm going to use the Let's Celebrate You. Yeah, I know. I think he's okay with it. You know what? After, I don't even know how long we've been married anymore. It's kind of like once your kids turn 21, after a while, you're like, how old are you now? Are you 25 or are you 26? I can't remember. I know it's getting very close to 40 years. So after that long of being married, he knows me by now. And he knows if I have a word of the day that it's going to be something a little improper. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this. Let's Celebrate You. Hi, Tom. I hope that, I don't even know what time it is. Hopefully the kids landed and you're close to getting them. Been worried about it all day. Just like a good mother should, right? Okay, so I've stamped that out, and now we're going to cut this with the die. And I've set up all my dies to match the same configuration as the stamp set, so I know that this one right here is the right die. So I don't really have to try to figure it out too much. And then let me clean off this stamp and put it back. No, you know, I am who I am, and I appreciate you guys loving me through it, liking me anyway. All right. Yeah, I mean, comments are fun. I was talking to some of my YouTubing friends, and I suggested maybe one day we make a video where we read the comments that we got, and they all were like, oh, I don't think we could do that. So maybe we won't, but it would be kind of funny because some of them are pretty funny, like some of the comments and some of the emails that we get. But some of them, whew, apparently people don't like my glasses and a whole bunch of other things. Okay, so I'm using the magnetic mat so I don't have to worry about taping this down. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that there. And we're going to cut it out, but I actually should have it straight before I put the lid on. There we go. That's good. You know, I think sometimes when you're not like right over it, when you're kind of looking at it from an angle, you think that you have it on there straight, but if you get like right up over it, then you can see better, but I don't want to get my head in the way. Plus I need my roots done, so this will have to be good enough. I'm glad you like the word of the day. That does my heart good. And but Tom will be back with the better words of the day on Thursday for sure. Okay, so I've got my little greeting cut out, and we'll put this away for the final time. We're done die cutting. I know it's one of those things you can't help it. You're just like talking from your own perspective. So when I say my daughter, I just mean that she is my daughter. And the thing is that she's my daughter, but she's also Tom's daughter. But she's my daughter too. So I don't know. Some days you just can't explain it. You just got to go with it. Okay, so I'm going to use my little scissors here, and I'm going to cut some of these in half just so that I have some skinnier ones to put on the greeting. And I'm going to put the greeting on first. All right. And you know, I was doing my Mindy Egan thing here using these tweezers. I'm getting good at it, and now I'm starting to love them. So if you were like me and you were struggling with the tweezers, don't give up, because once you figure them out, you are going to enjoy them more. It is so staticky here. I put hair oil on tonight just to calm my hair down. I brushed my hair, and I looked so funny. Everything was just sticking straight up. It's so dry and so cold. I did spray Static Guard on my hair a couple weeks ago, but a bunch of you sent me messages telling me not to do that anymore. So I got some hair oil and I put that on instead. All right, so we're going to put this on first because we don't want the sun and the cloud to block it. So let's put this right about here. Let's celebrate you. There we go. I just like everything popped up on this card. And then we can put the sun up here, and we can have the cloud just, you know, maybe down a little bit and then kind of covering a little bit of it like that. So that will balance everything out on this card. So where did my big foam squares go? Here they are. We could do one of those. Brienne, you shocked yourself? I've done that too. It's bad. I sleep now with one of those pillows, those grounding pillows, like a pillowcase that is supposed to take all the electricity out of your body when you're sleeping. You have to like be touching it, but and then I'm going to put that like right down here. That's cute. So remember, I'm going to leave this open here, and I'm just going to put my foam square over here on this one side. And that's supposed to like really help you sleep better. So if you're, I don't know, it's supposed to like, I have to read more about why it's good. Tom was using one, and he was having a lot of luck with it. And he said, you really ought to try one of these. So he got me one. And I think I like it. I think it's helping. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit and take a look at this finished card. And then I am going to pick a winner for tonight's tonight's gift certificate. Okay, so here's the one that I did with the hills, and here's the one that I did with the grass from Master Layout 6. And what I did was I cut the grass, and then I edged it just a little bit with some fresh asparagus just to create a little separation between it. But you can see that's just two different looks. Little hills using the ovals with the stitching, and the grass on this one. So I don't know which style grass you like better. Maybe you like them both. You could always do the hills in the background and then do a little row of grass on the front and have a third layer. So they're kind of hanging out in the grass, and then in the background are the hills. So either way you do it, it's going to be so cute. And that is my little finished kind of scene card. I really like that. All right, so we do have a winner. I have a winner here. I have the little thing here, so I have the winner. So I'm going to make the drum roll sound. Here we go. And the winner is Sue Platt. Sue, you are the winner. Congratulations, Sue. You win a $15 Gina K Designs gift card. Yay! Oh, I have to turn the applause off. There we go. Oh, no, I don't. There we go. All right. Well, everybody, this was so much fun tonight. I hope that you guys had a good time. I do want to tell you about our Facebook group. So if you are new to Gina K Designs, we have a really fun Facebook group. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. You can come over and join us. You do have to answer the questions. We've got some security questions over there, and you have to agree to the rules, but we would love to have you. We have got a little over 48,000 members, and it's people sharing their Gina K Designs cards. So we would love to have you over there. And then if you see something you like tonight and you didn't catch the link from Brianne, you can always visit us at ginakdesigns.com, click on the shop tab, and you can find everything that you've seen here tonight. If something is out of stock, other than the kit, you can put your name on the waiting list. The kit stuff will be broken up and released during our next release, and you'll be able to buy anything from the kit a la carte. Then, if you like this video, and we sure hope that you have, I'd love it if you'd give this video a thumbs up. And if you click the subscribe button and the notification bell, you will never miss another video. And you know what? We are really, really close to 200,000 subscribers. We are under 1,000 away. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you would subscribe. When we get to 200,000, we'll do some big giveaways here on the channel. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you all so much for being here. If you're in the line of all of this cold, just stay warm, stay inside, get in your craft room, have some fun. And, you know, Tom and I will be back on Thursday. He will be here. He will have a word of the day. I will be done with that part of the live. I'll just stick to my table. I'll stay in the bright space. I think the word of the day definitely belongs in the dead space. All right, everybody. Well, stay safe, stay healthy. I love you all so very much. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.